What's up, boys? We're taking a look at some more NBA player props today over on PrizePicks. Finally, got the NBA slate back. Gonna keep going with the NHL too, I do believe. Yesterday was really good for NHL, so we're gonna be doing kind of two things on the channel now. We're gonna be doing NBA and NHL, same thing on the Patreon. So, yeah, if anyone is not already on PrizePicks though, I highly recommend joining. Use code DOMG when you guys do go ahead and sign up. Make your first deposit 100% up to $100. So I definitely recommend joining. It's available in most states and in Canada. So if you guys are interested in joining, use code DOMG. A bunch of you guys have been using my code. Seriously, do appreciate it because it helps me out, helps you guys out as well. So again, first time deposit match up to $100, 100%. So, all right, let's go ahead and hop straight into this though. So I got a couple player props for you guys today, 4 of them. I think today it's going to be a tricky slate. I think a lot of people are really excited that the NBA is finally back after like a week-long break. But be a little bit careful. A lot of these guys are off week-long breaks. Might be a little bit rusty. Might be a lot of missed shots going up. I'm just saying. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe I could be completely wrong, and I kind of hope that I am completely wrong, except for the guys that we take unders on. But I'd just be a little bit careful tonight. I'm personally going to play a little bit lighter than normal. Not super light, but just a little bit lighter than normal. Probably not going to go my normal entry amount tonight. So, yeah, let's go ahead and hop into this, though. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. It seriously does help me out when you guys do those things. So, also turn on post notifications. It helps me out as well. So, you guys get notified every single time I upload an NBA or NHL video. So, all right, let's take a look. I got 4 of them for you guys. Let's take a look. I got 1 assist prop on the over. I have 1 rebound prop on the over. Actually, I have all overs today. I didn't even realize when I was cutting down my prop list today. But so I actually do have all overs. It's an assist over, a rebound over, and 2 3-point make overs. So, all right, I'll tell you guys. I have one that I'm really, really, really loving. I'll explain that one. It's a third one. But let's take a look at the assist prop here. So, all right, let's take a look at Will Barton here. So, I like Will Barton a little bit here, over 3 assists. So, this one's a little bit interesting because he's coming off 2 games where he had 0 assists, which is not exactly very good. I believe he only played like 20 minutes, though, in this Orlando game, but still, should have at least 1. But it's kind of a low number at 3 assists. It's interesting, though, because he's a minus 132 to hit at 3.5. He's bumped down to 3. So, that's interesting. He's 70% at hitting this season. He's 4 for 8 in his last 10 games, so he's had 2 pushes. And he had 6 in his last matchup versus Sacramento on January 7th. So a lot of things look really, really good for this over, considering they bumped it down when it was already favored at minus 132 to hit at 3.5. And he's 7% the season. It's not a great last 10, but he also had 6 in the last matchup. But he's hit 0 in his last 2 games. So that's what's really throwing me for a loop here. Not a big fan of that whatsoever, but we'll see if he can get a little bit back to it tonight. Against Sacramento, he did destroy them last time with 6 assists. Not destroy, but he killed his prop line last time. So we'll see. We'll take a look at this matchup here. So again, that's kind of worrying me a little bit, but let's take a look at Will Barton here. So shooting guard going against the Sacramento Kings. It's a 4.5 point spread. 232.5 over under. I didn't even realize before. I have a lot of props from this game. So it could be a really good game for some overs though. 232.5, 4.5 point spread. So it's a good look for some overs. But yeah, so shooting guard going against the Sacramento Kings. Let's take a look at the assists here. So shooting guard assists versus the Sacramento Kings. And the Kings are definitely on the easier side here for assists to shooting guards here. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably 10th or 11th. I lost track of my counting, apparently. But 4.78 is what they're allowing on average per assist. So assists to shooting guards per game. So they're on that 10th, 11th range for shooting guard assists. So really not that bad. Let's switch this to the last 7 games here. And they are allowing the 4th most assists in the last 7 games to shooting guards. So it seems like a pretty good look here for Will Barton's on the over. It's just the only thing that's really thrown me for a loop here is these 2 games here. So we'll see if he can bounce back a little bit today. But it's definitely interesting. So just be a little bit careful with that one. But always do your own research. So yeah, I mean, these are just early looks. I don't necessarily play everything that I say in these videos. It's just really early looks. But I do play a lot of them. So yeah, just a lot of things to change out the day, odds and all that. So I always make my entries at like 6 o'clock tonight because you never know what will happen. I mean, who knows? Maybe De'Aaron Fox doesn't play or something, or Monty Morris doesn't play, and that could mess up Will Barton. I don't know. Just crazy stuff like that happens all the time in the NBA. So I always just wait till the last second. But just look at a lot of things throughout the day, but just always keep that in mind. But this website right here is called Rotowire NBA starting lineups, and this website right here is called FanDuel NBA defense versus position. So if you guys are trying to find either of these websites here, so Statmuse is another good website that I use, more for first half player props and for NHL. But let's move on now. Talk about a rebound one. This is probably my second favorite of the day. Will Barton is probably my least favorite just because I'm so skeptical of it. But, I mean, it's a really good looking prop. Just the last 2 games have been horrible. So, I'm not sure if I want to take a guy on kind of a cold streak. So, let's take a look, though, at Al Horford rebounds here. So, I like him a little bit over 6.5 rebounds. This is another kind of interesting one here. But, from my second, maybe tied for my second favorite. I'm not sure. But, Al Horford here over 6.5 rebounds versus Brooklyn here. So, he's really well rested. We know he's an older guy, really old guy. And he needs his resting minutes. So, yeah, once he's usually on a rest, though, he comes back, he plays a good amount of minutes. I'm hoping he sees like 26, 27, maybe even 28 minutes tonight against Brooklyn. And a Brooklyn team that's been really depleted, especially their big men. So, I mean, you can just see all their guys they've had out. So, Kevin Durant, but they've had some other guys out too. But, yeah, Drummond is there now for Brooklyn, though, so that could maybe be something to take into account. But I think he should still hopefully be able to grab 7 rebounds here. So he's averaging 7.6 in those last 5 games here. Hit against Detroit, Philadelphia, and Denver. Missed against Atlanta and Brooklyn last time. So we'll take a look at this, though. But he only played like 22 minutes in this game. So, again, I'm hoping he grabs like 26, 27 minutes, especially after being on such a long resting period. So he's a minus 114 to go over. 67% at hitting this season. So 67, pretty good. He's hit 7 out of 10 in his last 10 games. He is 0 for 2 versus Brooklyn, but he played 24 in the first matchup when they were kind of full strength in, I think it was November. And then, again, like I said, he played like 22 minutes last time against Brooklyn on February 8th. So I like him a little bit on the over here. He's minorly favored to go over here, but let's take a look at power forward going against the Brooklyn Nets. It's a 9-point spread, so there is a little bit of blowout potential there. 214.5 over under, so got to be aware of those blowouts, though, but over is 214.5. So let's take a look at center rebounds going against, we're looking at power forward here. So power forward going against, he will play a little bit of center though, so take a look at center as well. But let's take a look first at power forward. So season long, they are a pretty tough matchup versus rebounds. But take a look at the last 7 games where they've been really depleted, but they also just got Drummond, so it's kind of hard to tell where the matchup really lies here, but they're a lot easier in the last 7 games for rebounds for sure. So, and it's the same way for centers, I do believe. So, yeah, Brooklyn right here, allowing the, fifth? Yeah, fifth most rebounds to centers. So, yeah, in the last 7 games. So, it's a lot different compared to season long, where they are definitely still on the harder side. So, it's just really kind of depends. We'll see how many rebounds Drummond allows to Horford and Williams tonight. We'll have to see. Not really sure, but all right, let's take a look now at player prop number 3, and this is definitely my favorite one of the day. So we're going to take a look at this one. I've been eyeing this one pretty much all week, so let's take a look at it here. We're going to take a look at DAngelo Russell over 2.5 3-point makes here. So DAngelo Russell here, he's got a pretty good look. So averaging 3.4 in his last 5 games here. He is coming off a game. I mean, I guess kind of coming off, even though it's been like 8 days, but he had 2 3-point makes last time against Toronto. He's going against Memphis tonight. He's absolutely destroyed Memphis in the last 3 games, and I'll talk about that here. But averaging 3.4 in his last 5 games here. So, yeah, going against Memphis tonight. Let's take a look at this game here. So, actually, some more stats here on DAngelo Russell, though. He's a minus 146. To hit this over here, he's 62% this season. He's hit 5 out of his last 10 games. He is 3 for 3 versus Memphis this season. And, yeah, he had 6 in the first matchup, 4 in the second, and 6 in the second matchup, which was January 13th. So, pretty good luck. He played him, I guess, somewhat recently. It was this year. So, it was about a month ago, and he had 6. So, playing Memphis again, I like him a little bit for this over here. So, we'll take a look at this game here, though. So, DAngelo Russell, shooting guard, going against the Memphis Grizzlies. 1.5 point spread, 239 over-under. Love this here. This is beautiful. I'm loving this prop with all my heart. 1.5 point spread, 239 over-under. Super high over-under. Really good spread. Should hopefully not blow out. Let's take a look, though, at the matchup. Let's switch. Okay, so it is on season. Let's take a look at shooting guard, 3-point makes versus the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, they are on the harder side, so do be aware of that. But it's at a point where he's destroyed them so many times in the past. He's killed this prop 3 out of 3 times, where I'm not that worried about the matchup anymore. So look at this: 3, 6, 7, 8. Eighth toughest matchup for shooting guard 3-point makes. In the last 7 games here, Memphis is definitely on the easier side though, so it's an even better look recently for him. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, allowing the 10th most shooting guard 3-point makes. So I'm liking DAngelo Russell over 2.5 3-point makes a lot tonight. So hopefully you guys understand my reasoning for that. Always though, if you don't obviously agree with anything, don't play it. But don't go off your directions, is what I say. Said that earlier, but let's take a look now at one more 3-point make. Let's take a look at Nikola Jokic. So this is one that's probably tied with Al Horford, I think, for being my favorite. I'm not sure what personally I'd pair with DAngelo Russell currently. I don't have a pairing. I've not submitted an entry with DAngelo Russell. I probably should, just in case they take it down. I don't think they'll take it down. They might. It's pretty heavy favored. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to make an entry pretty soon here. We'll see. But 1.5 3-point makes here for Nikola Jokic. 7 o'clock tonight versus the Sacramento Kings. 2.2 average in his last 5 games. 2, 3, 3, 0, and 3 in his last 5. So he's pretty much, he's hit a lot of threes in his last 10 games. So he's usually getting about 3, seems like. But so he's a minus 128 to hit this over. He's hit 46% this season. He has hit 6 out of his last 10 games, and he had 3 in the last matchup versus Sacramento on January 7th. So seems like a pretty good look. Again, minus 128, 46%, 6 out of 10 last 10, and 3 in the last matchup versus Sacramento. We'll take a look at this matchup though for Nikola Jokic. So center going against these Sacramento Kings here, 4.5 point spread, 232.5 over under. Oh, wait, did I say? I guess I only had 2 from this game. I was looking earlier. I had like 4 on my early list for this game, but let's take a look at center going against the Sacramento Kings 3-point makes. And the Kings are definitely on the easier side here. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Allowing the 9th most 3-point makes to the center position. So take the number with a grain of salt. I always like ranking them among other teams. I just think it's a lot easier to go ahead and do. But let's take a look at the last 7 games here. And the Kings are allowing the 3rd most 3-point makes to the center position at 1.65. So I'm liking them to go ahead and hit the over on this one with at least 2 3-point makes. I think he can potentially grab 3 yet again against the Sacramento Kings. And he had 3 in a recent matchup, like I said, January 7th. So about a month ago, a little bit over a month. He's able to go ahead and hit that prop. So with a good margin too. So liking Jokic a little bit tonight, but that's my list, man. I had 4 player props for you guys today. Yeah, just always do your own research, and so hope for a great night tonight, but be a little bit wary. I'm personally, I'm playing a little bit lighter, but I'm really loving DAngelo Russell, so that's one that I'm really high on tonight, but we'll see. I've been high on Mitchell Robinson before, and he's let me down, so hopefully DAngelo Russell doesn't let me down tonight, but that's going to do it, man. I appreciate watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Like and subscribe.